welcome back to Rubys.Biblioteca. Let's go ahead and do a book haul. So, I have my trusty here, Red Bull Watermelon Edition. These are definitely my addiction. Oh, love these. And if I told you that I gave those up, I did. This is my first one in like about a month. So, yeah, don't come for me, okay? We have a big book haul. These are all the books that I've acquired from the beginning of January until now. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm supposed to be on a book buying ban. So this is not what you will see normally, but you know, the beginning of this year, we really needed some self-care. So retail therapy for me, okay? Let's go ahead and get started with Blood Over Bright Haven by M.L. Wong. I have heard so many great things about this. This is also the author that wrote Sword of Kaigen, which I haven't read yet, but I've heard great things. And like 50% off at Barnes & Noble, like, come on, I couldn't resist this. I will read it sometime. I don't know when, but I will read it, okay? So it's not like a purchase that it's not a bad purchase. Let's see. I did go to an indie bookstore that opened up a couple of months ago that I hadn't heard about, so it was my first time going. So I ended up getting James by Percival Everett, and this was so many people's favorites of 2024. So this is actually one of my top priority reads for 2025, which is probably going to go in my book cart. If you want to see a video of me setting up my little book cart for this year, let me know. But this is definitely one that's going to go there because it was so many people's favorites, and I just know it's going to be a favorite of mine as well. This is a retelling of Huckleberry and Finn. I know I had to read that growing up in grade school, so maybe you did too. But this right here is a retelling of Huckleberry and Finn, but with the point of view of James. So James is the Black runaway slave that's on the journey with them. So this is everything we see through him. So I'm very excited on the themes, the topics, the writing, like just everything. I cannot wait for this. So this I'm actually going to put here because that's going to go somewhere else. I also got I Was a Teenage Slasher by Stephen Graham Jones. I read my first Stephen Graham Jones book last year and absolutely loved it. And this one came out, I want to say at the end of last year. And I've heard actually mixed reviews about this, but I've lately been enjoying horror books if they are written by indigenous authors. Like that lately has been my jam. So I think I'm really gonna love this. This is pretty much what it sounds like. It is about a teenage slasher. So not really know what else, but I just know I think I'm gonna love it. I think so. Next we have All My Rage by Sabaa Tahir. And this right here is a YA novel that has very hard topics that it discusses. I don't know a lot about it. I just know that you have to be in the right headspace to read this. It has been recommended to me, but it also has been recommended to me with like, you must check out trigger warnings. So just a little bit of what it says. It says, Salahuddin and Noor are more than best friends. They are family. Growing up as outcasts in the small desert town of Jupiter, California, they understand each other the way no one else does until the fight, which destroys their bond with the stiff fury of a star exploding. Now Sal scrambles to run the family motel as his mother's health fails and his grieving father loses himself to his alcoholism. Noor, meanwhile, walks a herring tightrope, working at her wrathful uncle's liquor store while hiding the fact that she's applying to college so she can escape him forever. When Sal's attempt to save the motel spirals out of control, he and Noor must ask themselves what friendship is worth and what it takes to defeat the monsters in their past and the ones in their midst. I cannot wait to read this. Again, I've heard amazing things about this, but again, I have to be in the right headspace for it, which at this moment of time is not it. So we'll circle back to this one in a couple of months. The next book that I got is Abolition, Feminism Now by Angela Davis, Gina Dent, Erica Miners, and Beth Ritchie. And I read Freedom is a Constant Struggle by Angela Davis last year, and it really like opened up my mind to a lot of themes. So this is why this one interested me. I cannot wait to get started on this. It's just going to be something that I'm going to take slow, annotate it, and kind of read a couple of chapters here and there until I actually finish it. So this one, for now, is also on hold. I got Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. This is her latest release. And this one right here, I got it because I also gifted it to one of my book besties and we're going to buddy read it together. I read Bride with her last year and really loved it. I'm not very interested in Ali's like stam romances, but this one does intrigue me. But there is so much discourse around this book, so I'm really interested to see where I fall regarding everything that I've been hearing around this book. But nonetheless, I'm excited for it. It looks like a good time. So yeah. I got Abducted by Aliens. Now I'm Trapped in a Rom-Com by Kimberly Lemming. I absolutely love Kimberly Lemming. All of her books are super fun. They're wild, outrageous, full of spice, and they're just overall such a fun, good time. I finished the audio of this the day that it was released because Libby came through, that I immediately on my lunch like had to go and purchase this book, and it was actually the last copy at my Barnes & Noble, so. Kimberly Lemming's new book is out today. That time I got Abducted by Aliens, and now I'm Trapped in a Rom-Com. My library came through and I've already listened like 2 hours of it. This is something that I must own. So we are on the hunt. We are on a mission to go to Barnes & Noble to see if we can find this book. I only get an hour lunch, so not only are we gonna find the book, but then I have to also go get food. Pre-ordered This Ends in Embers by Camila Cole, and this pre-order came with the book. It came signed with character art, but the main reason I wanted this, I pre-ordered this, is because it came with a book sleeve for book 1. So book 1, the original cover is this, So Let Them Burn. But do you see this? This doesn't match, okay? Like this would not be a matching set. So I did the pre-order so that I was able to get this additional book sleeve that has the art changed. And now this is more of a matching set. So this is a duology that I will eventually read too, okay? But yes, I can't remember what this is about actually. And I'm just realizing these covers feel different and I don't know how to feel about that. Okay, I just know there's dragons. I believe it's YA and it's a duology, so it should be a fun time. I also purchased Blood Debts. This is the edition from the Bookish Box by Terry J. Benton Walker. Blood Debts is a YA mystery thriller type of book, fantasy. You have witches, you have a revenge story, you have feuding families, and it is absolutely amazing. Blood Debts was one of my favorites the year that I read it, but book 2, Blood Justice, actually was one of my favorites the year I read that as well. But this edition is this with those sprayed edges, and then here we have Clem on the end, and then we have Christina on the back, and then the reversible dust jacket. I also pre-ordered Blood Justice in this version, so I can't wait till that set is complete. But it is an amazing, amazing YA fantasy if you're looking for something. It is set in New Orleans, has magic, feuding families, revenge, and then so many underlying topics, very, very hard topics. So keep that in mind if you decide to read it, but I definitely recommend checking it out. I am a subscriber to the Cover Snob book box subscription. I do the book only, and this one came in the mail. This is Flirting with Disaster by Nina Kumar. We have some beautiful sprayed edges, and I cannot wait for this. It says, it's been years since Mina Separated from her husband, years since they first laid eyes on each other in their home state of Texas, years since they spontaneously wed in Las Vegas, and she felt true happiness. Now a high-powered lawyer on Capitol Hill and ready to move on with another successful lawyer. This time they're going to obtain a divorce, but there's one thing Mina didn't account for: a hurricane forming in the Gulf, veering toward them and giving them no choice but to hunker down in the home they had built together. Suddenly she finds herself trapped amid gale force winds and pelting rain with the man she once loved. As they spend more time together, Mina begins to remember everything that drew her to him: his small town charm, his thoughtful nature, his absurdly good looks. But being with Shake makes sense to her. He's steady, ambitious, and wants exactly what she wants. So she'll stick to her plan, come hell or high water. But will her wind-spent heart make the right choice? I had no idea that this is a second chance romance. I love a good second chance romance, so I'm very excited for this. So the Cover Snob, it is a Black-owned book box subscription that focuses on BIPOC romances, and with theirs usually comes like a book plate, the book with sprayed edges, and a bookmark. And I'm trying to remember if this one came with that stuff. Oh yes, it did. It did actually. So it came with the nameplate. It came with a bookmark. And as a surprise, we actually got tabs and like a little sticker there that I need to put on my Kindle. It says "In my romance era." And there's like another bookmark in here as well. Let's open it. Let's be nosy. And I love good tabs. These are actually some of the tabs that I already own, which are my fan. Oh, this is so cute. It says "Proud Cover Snob, a romance subscription box." That's adorable. I love that. So those are being added to the collection. My camera died, so I am definitely an amateur when it comes to this. And I think I left off with talking about this book. So the next book that I purchased was The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is a Carrie retelling. It is a young adult novel. So if you're not a person that likes young adult, don't read this because we are not the intended audience for it. But if you do enjoy young adult books, I definitely do recommend this, especially the audio, because it has a podcast element to it. So you have these different narrators that are speaking through that podcast, and then you have like the story being told. So I do recommend that. I also do recommend that if you're going to do the physical book, go get the Barnes & Noble edition that has an original epilogue, because that bonus epilogue is really what I needed to like solidify everything that was happening in this book, because Tiffany D. Jackson in her books definitely leaves you with more questions at the end, and I feel like this epilogue closed it up for me, because the other book I read from her is Allegedly, and I still had so many questions when I finished that book. But I absolutely love Tiffany D. Jackson. She covers very intense, hard topics that are not the easiest to digest, but she does it in a way that's easy for young adult audiences to digest. Because it is for a young adult audience, there is going to be times where you're just like, what is happening? Why are they doing what they're doing? But again, we're not the intended audience, but even then, phenomenal. So I would recommend that. Okay, I should probably stop drinking that because I'm feeling a little haywired. So if I'm talking fast and out of breath, it's because of that, okay? My first Red Bull in like a month. But from the Cover Snob book subscription, they had a pre-order sale for Real by Kennedy Ryan. And let's just appreciate the newly traditional cover. It came with these sprayed edges. And I love Real. I read this book via audio last year, and it was my introduction to Kennedy Ryan. The audiobook is a production. If you are someone who loves audiobooks, I definitely recommend Real via audiobooks. If you're someone who doesn't know if you like audiobooks, I still recommend Real by Kennedy Ryan. It is a whole production. You have all of the narrators. It is on a film set, so sometimes you hear the movement of while they're filming. I loved it. This right here is the indie published cover, and I already was obsessed with this. So I was able to snag this copy when I found out that it was being traditionally picked up. And I still love this cover, but the OG cover is my favorite, but I knew I needed to have it with the sprayed edges. This also came with a nameplate with a bookmark and like a little poster of it, which this I need to get a little frame for. What do you guys do with all this like character art that you get from books? Like, do you keep it in the book? Do you get like frames for it? Like, I'm wondering if I should do like a photo wall with all this character art that I get. But I didn't even tell you what this is about. This follows Cannon. Cannon is a film director, and he is looking for the next actress for his Renaissance biopic film. And then we have Neva. Neva is on Broadway. She finally one night is one of the main people because the main person, I don't know if they were sick or something, but like she gets her big break, and then that's when Cannon sees her in Broadway and is like, that's my actress. Like, that's who I need for this Renaissance biopic film. So it follows them too, and they are not trying to fall in love with each other, but one thing leads to another, and we follow their romance while on film set. So it was so good. You just need to read it. That's all I'm gonna say. But I definitely do recommend this. It is a longer romance, but trust me, you won't even feel that it's that long. I'm also a subscriber of the Saddest Fiction book box, and that is a Black women-owned book box subscription that focuses on BIPOC fantasy books. And the book that I got from them in the mail is Living Legend by Ali Shante. And first, let's just admire the book, okay? This is beautiful. And then these edges, like, look at this. Oh, I absolutely love it. And all of that foiling. This is, she's been called from her place in the darkness to aid the sight of good in the last place she wants to be. Dani, groomed by Lilith herself, has long been spreading horror in the murk of purgatory. She never asked to be summoned to heaven's gate and never expected to be charged with a stubbornly attractive angel, Nicholas, as her partner. Though with a face like his to look at, Dani isn't about to complain. The lines between good and evil are shifting. Dani discovers that lurking in her familiar darkness are secrets she would never have guessed at and doesn't understand. Now she must ask herself, who is a demon supposed to trust? He'll have to join forces with the last entity he expected, but sometimes true loyalty lies in the most unexpected places. Nicholas is a sentry angel yet to see actual combat, so it comes as a surprise when he's summoned by the highest angelic executive. The bigger shock is being forced to rally together with an alluring demon he can't get out of his head. But as allegiances are tested, Nicholas discovers a lot is hiding between the boundaries of good and evil. Side by side, Nicholas and Dani must fight the unknown in whatever form it takes. Yeah, like this sounds so good. This came with a bookmark and a nameplate as well. So I do the book only option for this, but they do have like a full box option where it's full of self-care items. So that is also an option if you're looking for that. I have very sensitive skin, so I don't opt into the self-care options. So I do the book only, and that has been enough for me. They also have like a branch where it's called Raven Books, is under Saddest Fiction, but they focus on horror BIPOC books. So there's not a subscription to that yet. But every time they have a book that comes out, if you are on their fantasy subscription, you do get a code and you get like a subscriber discount. So that is always something to consider. I was a subscriber of the Yo Leo Sola book box, which is a Latina owned book box subscription that focuses on Latina romances. I don't subscribe anymore, but one of the last books that I received is A Song of Shadow and Starlight by Morgan Garcia. And this is like their version of this cover. This one doesn't come with sprayed edges. It's just a different cover from the original. And then it comes with book plate and then like cover art. I want to say I only received like 3 or 4 of them from this. But I did stop subscribing, at least for now, just because we had some unexpected expenses at the house. So something had to give, and this is the one that gave. But we'll see. I might subscribe again in the future. Also, this month, I purchased a box set of Belladonna. This right here has been recommended to me as a phenomenal book series. The person that recommended me The Weight of Blood recommended me this, and like she did not miss with Weight of Blood. She actually also recommended me Love Radio, which I absolutely love. So it's like, okay, I can trust your judgment. Let me purchase this. And this is like that edition where it's like those alternative covers. So I'm very excited. This is a young adult fantasy, I believe. I actually don't know a lot about it, and I kind of don't want to know a lot about it. I want to go into it blindly and then see what I think about it. So yes, that's all I'm going to say for now. And then the most exciting thing that happened to me in, I think it was January, I received my first ever physical ARC. If you don't know what an ARC is an advanced reader's copy. So I have gotten them digitally before, but this is the first time I ever got a physical one. So I am now part of the Primero Sueño Press influencer program. I applied months ago and didn't think that I got in because like my following on TikTok and Instagram is very low, but I was so excited when I got the email accepting me into the program, and they asked if I wanted this. This is Bochica by Carolina Flores Cicharillo. This releases, I believe it's in May. I will have to check. I'll put it in here somewhere. But this was pitched to me as fans of Mexican Gothic and The Shining. Mexican Gothic is one of my favorite Silvia Moreno Garcia's books, and The Shining was like my movie that we would watch all the time during spooky season growing up. So I cannot wait for this. I love this cover. I'm so excited, and I shall review it fairly soon. Those are all of the books that I have for you guys, and again, I'm supposed to be on a book buying ban, but this has been a long year, okay? And we needed some retail therapy. So that's all I have for you. The next few videos, I should, because we're already in March, give you a wrap up of my January and February reads. So hopefully you'll see that very, very soon. But thanks for watching. Bye.